carbohydrates and 1,260 calories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an equation about carbohydrates and an equation about calories, and then find out how many servings of each type that I need. If green beans have 7 grams of carbohydrates and 30 calories per half cup serving, I'm going to let green beans be the x. X will represent the number of servings of green beans that I need to have. And then in French fried shrimp have 9 grams of carbohydrates and 190 calories. I'm going to let the French fried shrimp, those servings will be y. And so how many servings of green beans and shrimp should he use? So for the green beans, they have 7 grams of carbohydrates per serving. So 7 times x, so that's the number of servings. Like if I had 2 servings, it'd give me 14 grams of carbs. If I had 10 servings, that'd give me 70 grams of carbohydrates. So 7 times x plus, and then the shrimp have 9 grams per serving, so 9 times y. Y is the servings for shrimp, and he wants to have a total of 82 grams of carbohydrates. And then for the calories, the green beans have 30 calories per serving, and the shrimp have 190 calories per serving, and I want to add up to 1,260 calories. Now, solving these systems doesn't look like a real easy way to solve them. You could solve them for y, put them in the y-intercept of your calculator and graph them, find out where they cross. That's one way. Or I'm going to go ahead and do the elimination method, even though it's not really easy because 9 doesn't go into 190 equally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. I'm going to make this 7 and 30. I'm going to work with that. I'm going to do the top line times 30 and the bottom line times negative 7. And that'd make these two cancel out. So I get 210x plus 30 times 9 would be 270y equals 82 times 30 is 2460. And the bottom line would be negative 210x. So you see these negative 210. See these x's are going to cancel. And then minus, 190 times 7. It would be minus 1330y. 1330y equals negative 7 times 1260 is negative 8820. Alright, so negative 1330 plus 270y is negative 1060y equals negative 6360. Divide. I get y equals 6. So 6 servings of shrimp. And I'm going to plug into either of these equations, but the top one might be the easiest. I know that y is 6. I'm trying to find x, so I get 7x plus 54 equals 82. So subtract 54, you get 7x equals 28. So x equals 4. My answer is 4 servings of green beans and 6 servings of the French fried shrimp. Okay, this is another system of equations. A student takes out 2 loans totaling $11,000 to help pay for college expenses. So 1 is at 7%, so I'm going to let x be the amount at 7%, and then the other is at 10%. It's just simple interest. Y will be the amount at 10%. So since he took out 2 loans totaling 11,000, x plus y equals 11,000 will be one equation, and then the other is going to have to do with the amount of interest. So 7% of x and 10% of y has to add up to the $890 of interest. And they want to know how much did they borrow at 10%. So we got to solve this whole thing, and then we'll give them the answer for y. So if I want to cancel out, I'll tell you what, I can go ahead and cancel my x's, and then I'll have the answer to the question that they asked. Negative 0.07x minus 0.07y equals 11,000 times 0.07 is negative 770. And then I keep the second line the same. Add these two together, you get 0.03y equals add these two together, you get 120. Divide by 0.03. Whoops. 120 divided by 0.03 is 4,000. So 4,000 at 10%, that's the y, which would mean if you invested 11,000, it'd have to be 7,000 at 7%. But make sure the question says find the amount of the loan at 10%. So my answer would be B. 4,000. Number 48 is a 3 by 3 equation. Alright, so solving this 3 by 3 matrix, we got to figure out how to cancel a variable. So what I'm going to do is, looking at this, it looks like the y's would be easy to cancel. So I'm going to first use the first two equations and add them together. That'll cancel out the y's. And then I'm going to use the last two equations because the y's are opposite there as well. So adding these first two lines together, the y's cancel, and I get 2x plus 4z equals 22. And if you add the last two together, x minus y plus 3z equals 19, and 5x plus y plus z equals 7, I'd get, the y's cancel, 6x plus 4z equals 26. So line those up, and now I have a two systems with two unknowns. I just brought that one over here. It looks like the z's would cancel if I would multiply one line by -1. I'm going to do that top line by -1. It becomes negative 2x minus 4z equals negative 22. And the bottom line stays the same. Add these two lines together. That's a z. I know it's hard to tell. You get 4x. The z's cancel. Equals 4. Divided by 4. X is 1. Alright, if x is 1, I'm going to plug it in here. You can plug it into any equation that just has x and another variable. And I subtract 6, I get 4z equals 20. Divide by 4, I get z is 5. Now go to one of your first equations. I know what x is. It's 1. I don't know y. I know that z is 5. So I get 1 plus y plus z equals 3. So that's 6 plus y equals 3. Subtract 6, y is negative 3. And this is probably going to be written as an ordered triple. X, then y, then z. 1, negative 3, 5. 49 is pretty simple. They go ahead and tell me what z is. So now I can plug that into the next one. If I know what z is, then I can just solve and figure out what y is. So that becomes 2y minus 8 equals 0. Add 8, I get 2y equals 8. Divide by 2, I get 4. And then if y is 4 and z is negative 2, I'm going to use the top line. So that's x plus 8 minus 8 equals 5. So x is equal to 5. So my answer is 5, 4, negative 2. And I would suggest that you check it out and make sure they'll all work in all three equations. All right, problem number 50. We've got an $86,000 trust to be invested in bonds and CDs and mortgages. So if I take bonds and CDs and mortgages and what I'm investing, it should add up to $86,000. The bond and the CD investment must equal the mortgage investment. So there's another equation. And then they want to earn a $6,620 annual income from the investments. So they get 7% from the bonds, and 6% from the CDs, and 9% from the mortgages, and that should add up to $6620. So these are my three equations. What they want to know is how much should the bank invest in bonds. So once I get my answer, I'm going to be giving the answer for the bonds, which will be what I get for B. I'm going to rewrite this second equation, B plus C minus M equals 0. So that way I can have it lined up like the others. If I do that, it looks like it's pretty easy. If I use the first line and the second line just like they're written, I could cancel out the m's. So this one's B plus C minus M equals 0. Add these two lines together, I get 2B plus 2C, the m's cancel, equals 86,000. And if I want to use something else and have the m's cancel, why don't I do the first line and the last line? And I'm going to multiply the first line by a negative 0.09. Negative 0.09b minus 0.09c minus 0.09m equals 86,000 times 0.09, or negative 0.09 would be negative 7740. Need to move this out of the way. And the bottom line is going to be just like it was given to me. 0.07b plus 0.06c plus 0.09m equals 6620. Add these two lines together. Get negative 0.02b minus 0.03c. This cancels. Negative 77040 plus 6620 is negative 1120. negative 1120. So line these up. And now I need to cancel out. I'm going to cancel out the C, and then I've got the answer to my question. Well, that's a little bit harder to cancel out. I'm going to do the top by, let's see if I wanted it to be 6. Top by 3. And the bottom by, actually by 200 to make it 6. Whoa, I'm running out of room here. Alright, so the top equation, if I multiply by 3, would be 6b plus 6c equals, and what I should have done, divide everything in that equation by 2, but equals 258,000. 258,000. And the bottom line, if I multiply by 0.3, no, multiply by 200, sorry, bottom line by 200. Negative 0.02 times 200 is negative 4b. Negative 0.03 times 200 is minus 6c. So see how those are going to cancel? And negative 1120 times 200 is negative 224,000. Add these two lines together, I get I got too close to the outside. I'm trying to finish this question up quickly. Add these two lines together, I get 2b equals, c's cancel, so I get 2b, my marker's not working. I get 2b equals, golly, now my pen's not working, but you get 2b, oh there we go, equals, if I do 258,000 minus 224,000, I get that's not right, 258,000 minus 224,000, I get 34,000, so 2b equals 34,000, so b would be divided by 2, 17,000. I don't have to write with my mouse, which makes for really yucky writing. Divide by 2, b is 17,000. Now you could go back and plug in, and especially if you have time, find out how much was invested in CDs and how much was invested in mortgages and make sure it adds up correctly, and I suggest that you do that. But for now, the question just asks how much was invested in the bonds, so they should invest $17,000 in bonds.